long overdue demo of the GCP Foundation. So basically, this is like a green field or day zero, maybe day one deployment. We're using Terraform Cloud and GCP Terraform modules. We can deploy basic foundations layout with folders and projects following Google's best practices. Uh, this particularly this Git project has all the Terraform code to deploy the architecture outlined here, which is based on one of the blueprints from Google. Uh, the way you can use this is to actually clone this repository and adapt to your organization or to your team. This assumes that you're a beginner and that you have the Google organization, and you need to create the projects, folders, IAM, DNS, basic networking, VPC, uh, basic VPCs, uh, some maybe some fencing, some floating projects, some share projects, etc., etc. So the good thing about this whole thing is everything's automated. So each folder is one piece of the architecture, and each folder contains Terraform files that represents sort of a state file, and everything's automated through Terraform Cloud. So basically, this I will show you how to connect this to Terraform Cloud, and in addition to deploying this architecture, you basically get CI/CD for free. So basically, once we connect my this repo to the Terraform Cloud, pull request changes will be applied automatically in the future, which helps you track down the changes to your infrastructure and have a trail for audit logging in case you ever need it. That's one of the best practices. Uh, okay, without further ado, what you uh, need is a GitHub account. So this is I have my own. You need GCP account. So basically, you need to have access to GCP console. You need to have your organization. I will use my own called Marco DevOps. I have some projects for my some other side stuff that I'm doing, but in reality you should have only this or maybe some other, and then we're going to create more resources with this, and then you need Terraform Cloud account. So I have my own. As you can see, it's pretty empty for now. I did some pre-setups, but uh, basically this whole thing will connect to this thing. So you need to fork this. I won't do that because I already have it. So I'm just going to connect to that one. Then you need to basically connect Terraform Cloud and your GitHub. And these are the instructions that you can follow. I won't do that here because it's quite simple. Uh, Basically, the way it looks is that I have, if I go here into the settings and to version control, providers, as you can see, I already set up one called marcosgithub.com, and it's whatever callback URL. These are all necessary steps. Once you create that, this will be established. Uh, and next, you need to go and create, give yourself a super admin to bootstrap everything. So in this case, I'll go to organization IAM. This is, well, I have my own super admin, so my own user. They're going to give all these roles. So if I go to I am an admin. There is Marco. I'm also like admin of my organization. So I basically gave myself all these roles necessary to bootstrap. Uh, okay. Next thing I need to do is for initial bootstrapping. This is the only time when we're gonna use the console, and you don't need to use your own uh, terminal, and you don't need to use this terminal on your Mac. You can just use whatever is in the Cloud Shell. So basically, I for my user, I'm gonna obtain the access token uh, to get for the bootstrapping in next steps. So as you can see, like you can just so follow the procedure. It says run gcloud print access token and save that. Okay. Okay, and you can take this token. This token is valid for 1 hour. So that's the secure way of doing it instead of creating like maybe service account and creating the key.json. This is way better. So we're just gonna save this in my notes. I'm gonna use this value later on. Okay, now we're gonna start bootstrapping. So first thing we need, we're gonna go to so when we bootstrap, we're gonna basically create folders, GCP folders. We're gonna create a TFC bootstrap project and set up workload identity federation. This is the secure way of doing it. So there's going to be identity federation between Terraform Cloud and Google Cloud. And set up proper GCP automation service accounts that will use this workload identity federation. Basically, service accounts will be connected to the workspaces. We're going to see that now. So create a workspace 00 TFC bootstrap. Naming is important in this case. So if we come here, we're going to create new workspace. Choose the type, version control workflow. Connect to control providers. This is the one that will pop up for you when you set it up. I already set it up and show you before. So GitHub, and I'm going to connect to my GitHub repository, Marco7460 ACME Foundation. This would be something that you clone. Workspace name 000 TFC Bootstrap, and we can set that in our projects. Are basically, this is not GCP projects. This is like grouping workspaces into a folder basically, but they call it project. Let me see if there's any advanced options. So version control, press advanced options, set Terraform working directory to 00 TFC Bootstrap. Terraform working. Okay. You can say it auto apply or manual apply. I suggest manual apply for now. So when you do the plan, it's not going to run Terraform plan. After running Terraform plan, we want to approve apply. Choose when runs should be triggered. Always trigger runs, but you can specify this as you wish. Press create, go to workspace overview button. Okay, so that's pretty much it for it. So just double checking everything and then create workspace. Okay, so now it's gonna ask me to fill up these values. As you can see, some of them are optional, some of them are not. But anyways, org ID is mandatory. So this is organization ID for GCP. That can be found here. So that's your organization ID. Oops, sorry. Billing account ID also comes from GCP. That you can find if you come here and you go to billing. That's billing account ID. Okay. TFC organization is basically the name here, the name of your Terraform Cloud organization. Mine is called Marco DevOps Test Playground. GitHub repo is Marco7460. This is what you would clone, but I didn't. Foundations, okay. In GitHub all at client. So if we go back here, it will tell you how to get it. So blah 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 GitHub alt client, like you can click here for example. So basically this is what it is. So you go to providers and get it, but let me follow the instructions. So basically I can just copy this into a new tab, and then for my organization I just put Marco DevOps Test Playground, and this is the what I need, the value of this VCC provider, and that's it. These Terraform service accounts and folders, this is defined in Terraform vars by default, so we're just going to use the default values. Go to workspace overview. Okay, variables. Okay, we have all of that. That's been saved. That's great. Okay, let's follow what's that. We need to create environment variable Google OAuth access token. So, this is in addition to variables that we have. This is for initial bootstrap. We need this. So you say environment variable here. Key is Google OAuth access token, and then the value obtained in the step 5 of one pre-setup. So if we go back, I did something. So this is the step 5 G-code out print access token. I saved that here. So basically I'm gonna copy that value. Or actually you can copy it here. I'll generate a new one. We don't need this window. And since it's the token, you can we're gonna get rid of this. We just need it for initial bootstrap. You can say sensitive initial bootstrap. Delete after. Add variable. Okay, perfect. Okay. What else do I need? Okay, I need to create a API token. So this bootstrap will also take care of creating necessary workspaces, which will basically hold the variables and state files for each directory above. So basically go to, just follow the link and you can say create an API token. And I think if I follow this description or name, let's call it workload identity federation, I don't know, and then generate token. So now we need this. Okay, copied, and then environment TFE token. So we need to create a variable TFE token. It's variable environmental token. and we want to set this to sensitive. So basically, we created this token and set it to environment variable we're going to use for bootstrapping. Okay, I'll push this all the way down. Maybe I'll need, actually, I'll save this token temporarily. You shouldn't be doing this, but just in case if I mess up something. Okay, TFE token, sensitive, add variables. See, when you say sensitive, no one can see them. So that's more secure way of doing it. Okay, press done. TFE token, that's done. So deploy the workspace by pressing. Okay, so now we need to action start new run. Basically, we're gonna deploy this. So if we go to overview, action, start new run, initial deploy. So now Terraform Cloud will run Terraform plan. Basically what happens is like, okay, it has 204 to create. This is the plan, but the code that's being run is in, just gonna show here, in TFC Bootstrap. So basically this is the code that will be executed, that will create some bootstrapping, and you can read here more on what's being done. Go back. So we are at the step bootstrapping. So we're at step 10. Okay, so planned. So a lot of things will be created. So we're gonna, there will be some folders, service accounts, project for GCP project, workload identity, service accounts for each workspace in addition. So as you can see, a lot of things happening in the Bootstrap. Here are the folders that will be created. One other thing that also is going to be done is like there will be other workspaces created as well. So these are the Google API calls. These are actually Terraform Cloud calls to this organization. Okay, so you review the plan and then you confirm and apply. You can just say confirm plan. So basically here we can see that some workspaces have been created with the proper variable sets, and now we are waiting actually for the GCP. So here's a little bit more of a details. I know that we did this identity token. So this identity token is now the token of my, sorry, this is the access token. GCP access token issued to my user, Marco at marcodevops.com, which means that when I put this into Terraform Cloud, all these Terraform operation calls to the GCP API basically are done as me, as a user Marco. So that's because we don't have anything there yet. So we want to set up initial project and service accounts. So now after this, every subsequent run will be executed as service accounts. So we like the rest of the deployment is done with the service accounts created here with proper permissions. So no more using like super admin. So super admin is necessary only for the initial bootstrap. So this might take a little while. I think usually I think average to execute. This is, by the way, the most complicated part. After this is smooth sailing. But this can take like, I think, 8 to 10 minutes. Uh, so one nice thing here is that it's basically this is coming as a CI/CD. So we're deploying. We're not. I don't know if you noticed, but we are not doing any. We are not running actual Terraform commands on the command line. We are not using command line, and we are not changing any code at the moment at all. So CI/CD, everything through the web. It's just a matter of having all these accounts and setting the initial permissions. Here you can see how many. So we have 204 resources to add, and 69 have been created. '91. Okay, we're getting there. Said 8 minutes, so it's been running for 5. As you can see, folders have been created, which is good. I think right now there's like some self-managed service accounts and whatnot. 116, more than halfway there. 124, that's good. Workload identity is one of the important, so this is important part that we want to be uh, created and set. And then 39. And 60, it's good. As you can see, all these are being created. So it's a nice thing, it's telling you like which resources are created. These all you can find in Terraform code. It's quite easy. Um, 17 left. 14. Hey, created. So this ran. So as you can see, now we have actually a trail of our execution. So we have the code trail and we have a deploy trail all connected, which is great. So uh, as you can see, it says applied and these are all resources. So I'm just gonna show you like, so we don't need this anymore. Basically, what happened is that, let me go, I am an admin, or just here I can show you that. So we created the folders, admin, dev, prod. These are basically different environment, shared services folder. We're going to put some projects in. And most important, we have this TFC bootstrap that's been created. And in that project, we created some Terraform accounts and some workload identity federation. So, and this workload identity federation is what's now being used to authenticate calls from Terraform Cloud towards GCP to execute the rest of it. So yeah, so there it is, TFE pool. So there's like, you can read more about it, but anyway, this is now what helps us. These service accounts that we gave some permissions, basically anything that starts now here with TF uh, will be executing. See, it has OAuth client ID, which is basically connected to the workload identity federation, which is set here in Terraform Cloud. So if we go here in the workspaces, you will see that there's more workspaces now. So in default project, we have TFC Bootstrap. That's what we created manually and just ran it. And then in Foundation, we have the rest of the workspaces that have been basically this workspace dynamically created all these workspaces and set certain variables and whatnot. So if we click here, for example, and you go to variables, there's some variables already preset, right? This is all that's been done through the bootstrapping, so you don't need to worry about it, and they're necessary in the Terraform code to run this. Um, Last thing that needs to be done, go to you need to delete Google Access Token, but this step you need to share with all the workspaces in the organization the output of this TFC workspace. So that's by design necessary. So let's just go back there, default, and set that. I think that would be in settings. And if you scroll down, share with specific workspaces. No, we want to share with all workspaces. So remote state sharing. So we want remote state of this workspace to be available. Basically, the outputs to be available to all other workspaces that have been generated now. Save settings. Okay. And last thing we can do here in the variables, we don't need this anymore. As you can see, there is a new, so from now on, because we set a workload identity federation in GCP, we're going to use this service account. We did this because there was no service account and there was no Bootstrap project, so this was all done through the Bootstrap. So from now on, this will be used to authenticate the API calls. Terraform will use that. And we don't need to execute this with our credentials anymore. Great. Hey, let's continue. And now it's basically smooth sailing. If everything went good, then just keep deploying these workspaces one by one. So Cloud Administration Global, let's deploy that one and see results. So basically you do start new run. And now it's running Terraform Cloud. So this 01 Cloud Administration Global, basically the code for that is here in 01 Administration, and this will create some administration projects for audit logging and billing, which is necessary with the best practices. The plan will tell you exactly what's being done, and then you can just say confirm and apply. All right, great. And the way it's set up is that this workspace, if you go, this is all done automatically in the Bootstrap, but if you want to know how it's actually connected, if you come to settings, it will tell you which folder to monitor. Uh, oh, version control, sorry. You come here and it tells you Terraform working directory 01 administration, which is basically this 01 administration. Yeah, or this. And the way this is done is like you always have defaults here in Terraform TF vars. So basically, if you need to change something, probably the best way like this, it's everything's already built, so you shouldn't have to add too much resources. But if you need to change the names to fit your use case, like this would be like you just come to Terraform TF vars and you change it. And I'll demonstrate later on that use case. So let's go back to this workspace, see how our runs are doing. So now we're doing the apply. So there's 25 resources being created. This can take time. If like, I'm using free version, but if you pay for Terraform Cloud, which is basic, is like I think $20 or $30 US per user. Um, then you get more benefits. I think you can run things in parallel, and you maybe get better VMs or containers, or you get more resources to execute this. But for now, it's like, I mean, to be honest, it's not that slower, because even if you run this on the command prompt, on the command line, it will take some time. So right now we're creating like 2 projects. That's what's going on. Uh, so this also tells you like to which commit. So we're deploying. So this is commit number. So you have the actual connections from which repo, which branch, uh, who created it, run ID. So each ID, each run will be separate. Yeah, so each run will have a unique ID, so you can do the trail of things that's going on. Okay, this is maybe speeding up. So basically, this will create some two projects in admin folder for logging and billing. So that would be something used by a security team, for example, in the future. Hey, almost there. 6 left. Okay, great. And then you have some outputs here as well, produced by the Terraform code. In a nutshell, just so you know, what happened here is that right now these two projects have been created with some settings inside. Okay, and I think next we're gonna proceed with basically other workspaces. So global IAM is the next one. Uh, so actually, you know what? Let me go back to the previous one. Uh, there is a like good thing is that in the past, uh, if you don't use Terraform Cloud, you need to worry about the state file, which usually go into the GCS bucket, S3 bucket, DynamoDB, some kind of a storage that you need to worry about. You need to protect it, encrypt it, maybe put a version control, because state file tell you a lot about the infrastructure you have. So malicious actor can actually obtain it and use it as a vector attack. Good thing here is that with Terraform Cloud, Terraform state is stored with them, so you don't need to worry about GCS or buckets or S3 buckets. So it's basically here, and it tells you like with each trigger with the run how it changed. So if you come here to states, this is the state file for that Terraform code. So that's a cool thing about these workspaces. They also act as a containers, and you can change the variables there, but they're containers for states. So let's go to global IAM. Uh, again, action, start new run. So plan. Plan finish. So there was actually nothing here. It's pretty much empty. We're gonna come back to this. It's probably something I would change. Uh, so next one is organizational policies. So this will set org policies for GCP. So there are some that are default. If you need to look into the code, that will be within the org policies folder. And so these are the defaults that you can change for your organization. Now I will apply this to my own. Confirm and apply. Confirm plan. Oh, this one ran really fast. That's because there is no project creation. What's next? Shared services. This will create some basically central DNS, secret manager, vault, etc. That's all contained in the shared services. And it's called shared services because these services are shared for all the environments and everything, basically. Start the new run. So the code is here, shared services. So as you can see, DNS, NAT, things like that. Uh, some basics that are set up, but you can like, for example, you're setting some private DNS, I guess, that can be used with, I don't know, maybe with VMs or the private services. All these you can actually manage yourself, and all these variables are described in the as a part of this module. Confirm and apply. In the meantime, I'm gonna get rid of this, so we don't need this anymore. And I don't need this anymore either. So basically, I need save to drive fine. How are we doing here? So 20 resources to create. So it's creating some, I guess, some projects. Yes. And then it will create some DNS zones. So just so you know more, if you need like more details, this is basically taken from here. So the whole thing is inspired by this project, example foundation. So basically, this example foundation is something that Google PSO built with embedded best practices, but this doesn't work with Terraform Cloud. So basically, I took this and made it a little bit simplified some things, but made that with Terraform Cloud. This one works with the cloud build, I believe. But if you need a reference, like that's where the idea comes for all of this. All right, that's done. Uh, Basically, we have some shared services now created. So project with some DNS and whatnot. So if you have, so if you need to install Vault, probably you would put it here in this project. But this is something some other team would take off. You just need to lay out. This is basically laying out foundation for to build on top. All right, next workspace. What's next? So as you can see, everything is numbered. Firewall policies. So these are like global hierarchical firewall rules that can be applied to the whole org, and then you can overwrite per project as necessary. Whatever needs will build or whatever they will need, you can work it out later. But this is just some basic rules that will be applied. So yeah, there's a security policy rule for, I don't know, RFC 19 egress. Like you can even see the detail maybe here if you want to inspect like what's being. So destination source IPs that we will allow. IIP SSH, this is a one that's usually like necessary to IIP SSH via IIP into the VMs. So basic stuff necessary for operation that you can tailor to your organization as needed. So basically, I think that would be 05 firewall policies, and I think Terraform TFVars has some. So I associate this to the folders basically, but these are the rules, and you can change that if you want, and you can add new rules to this, and that applies to the whole organization. Okay, create it. So this seems like it's successfully done. Okay, so now we're gonna start deploying the environment. So I have three of them defined: dev, prod, and staging, and each one has shared VPC project, and then shared VPC network, and then some individual projects. So I'll start by deploying the dev. Um, and I'll just do the dev just to save on time, but they're all equal. All these environments are pretty much very similar. Now I'll just show you how there's a little bit difference in the code. So here uh, we will press run, and then it will run the apply. But this workspace is actually, if you look into the code, there's one project here, 10 shared VPC projects. But then there's like another two folders here, which is a little bit different than the other code that we just deployed. So here in environments, each one, this folder dev prod stage corresponds to workspaces. So this dev, this main TF corresponds to this workspace, 10 shared VPC projects dev. So that's the code. Confirm and apply. And just to show you like similarities is that this main.tf basically acts as Terraform TFVars. It will call the module shared VPC project and then put some values into it. So basically, if you come to this, there is modules share VPC project, and this code is basically applied for all the environments. And for each environment, that main TF basically has variables that adjust this for the environment. So all that to say that all the environments are using the same module, but just different input variables. Basically, that's it. But the Terraform TF, so this workspace, if you go into settings, version control, working directory is like 10 shared VPC projects and envs dev. So 10 shared VPC project envs dev. That's being monitored. So that's the code, sorry, that's the code that's being executed, and we are monitoring any changes in this directory or this directory will trigger a Terraform plan here. That's like CI/CD portion. Okay, so as you can see, it's still running. So what do we have? 26, and we have created 19, which is good. It's going good. Okay, it's complete. Perfect. Projects and workspaces. So same thing. So I did dev. Now I'm gonna do share VPC networking. So basically what happened here is uh, we basically created a project here. It's actually two projects, restricted and share VPC and normal project. Restricted is the one that's using VPC service control. So this is basically a fenced off project, and this is like a normal project. So now we have projects, and they're specific because they're going to have shared VPC as per our architecture. So if you look into the architecture, as you can see, I don't know if this can zoom in, but development environment has to like share VPC dev and one project, basically two host projects, and this one will share, like these projects will share these, I think this base secondary VPC with the service projects that will be created later on. But for now we have the projects, these two projects. Now we're going to create VPCs. uh, I'll close this, I need it. So share VPC dev. Right, great. So the same thing applies here. If you go to 10 share VPC, 20 share VPC networking, same, you have three folders, dev, prod, stage, and dev will have main TF. And this is basically pointing to the module which is defining modules networking. So this is the common Terraform for all three environments, and then the environments are here in main TF. Okay, so let's see how's this run going. It's planned. There's a lot of things. So now we're creating VPC and some subnets. So how many? 49 resources to be created. So we started creating one by one. Okay, it's going fast. How many more? 8. Almost there. Three left. Almost done. Almost done. Let me see what's our context. So creating a so basically now we're creating a service parameter for those restricted VPC. Almost there. Almost there. Ah, created. Okay, so that's done. And then in order to complete the dev environment, we just need to run this 30 projects dev. Uh, so same thing, actions, start new. And this will be connected to this 30 projects folder. And what we are executing is this, basically. These are the variables. So basically here you have defined the projects, and one is a share VPC. So this project here, which uh, is called service project dev, will use a share VPC dev. Basically, it will use this base secondary subnet. That's what it is. And same for this restricted, but it will use it from restricted share VPC dev. Call in subnet will be restricted secondary. And this has a little bit more, so which access control, blah blah blah. This is all like default values you can change as you need. But one thing that also we create here is a floating project. So this project is just a regular project in the dev folder in the dev environment that has nothing in it. So something like use cases, product, team needs a. You can create one for a team, for example, like team project, or you can create a project per product, like I don't know, maybe for your backend application or something like that, or a project for data processing. Maybe that there's some project you need. Some you have a data team, so you need to give them a project with I don't know, BigQuery and data flow APIs enabled, and they're gonna use that project to create their pipelines or store their data, or you're building the data lake maybe. So that will be the use case. So it's easy to add projects. Either they're going to be those that are service projects, or they're going to be floating projects. So this is planned, and confirm and apply. So we're creating those projects. So just so you know, like it will be created here in dev. So there it is, floating project, restricted share, service project, share VPC. So uh, basically, I have 5 projects defined in my dev environment. So same would be in the prod and staging, where we won't do those at the moment. Uh, okay, this is advancing, which is good. Almost there. Hey, so we deployed the dev environment. So the same you can now do for staging and prod. I won't do that. Leave that to the reader as an exercise. I always wanted to say that. But yeah, basically you would do the same. Just follow 10, 20, 30 staging, prod. What I want to showcase next is like how can we change something and just show uh, the true CI/CD. So let me see if I can create a branch, view all branches. Let's say a new branch for demo. We're gonna spin off from demo branch. Okay, and let's say we want to change something in global IAM because that's easier. One thing you can do is like actually just go to Terraform TF and maybe just uncomment some of this. But here, for example, uh, I can give on the folder, for example, yeah, let's just modify something and uh, let's modify this. So I'm just going to copy paste. Basically remove the comments. And see if this is going to work. And then I'm going to give, for example, role browser to, I don't have operator one user, I have myself, but whatever, I'll just do that, give myself role browser on the dev. So that's the change I want. So basically I can do it here through UI. I can say this commit code will grant browser role to Marco. Okay. So commit directly, commit change. All right, let's see what happens now. So we committed this change. So nothing will happen because I'm not monitoring this branch. So if we come here, like as you can see, nothing in our workspaces. But let's say I worked on this and I want to make this change. What will be the process? Well, I would create the branch and I would submit a pull request. So what we can do is compare and pull request on the main branch and say create pull request. Okay, let's see if something happens here. Let's see all workspaces. So there are checks pending. So basically, right now, there will be a CI/CD running. So if we refresh this, there it is. So basically, I just need to wait longer. But as you can see, like I have the pull request running immediately. So as I created the pull request, these are the checks. Basically, this is going to run a Terraform plan for 02 Global IAM and Bootstrap, because that's the things that are being monitored. So if I come here, overview or workspaces, this just needs to be, and if I come to 02 Global IAM, and I go to runs, which I don't know why it's not updated, but there it is, plan and finished. So as you can see, I tried, when I created pull request, there has been automatic run created. So here is the plan. As you can see, this is what will be changed, and now I can actually uh, apply it or retry it. But I think this should be, this run was started from, oh yeah, so okay, so the run has been, so basically you have option to do Terraform plan on the pull request. So once we merge this, it will be applied. So that's the workflow that we set. So see here, it tells me automatically that all checks have passed, and then I'm good to merge. So Terraform plan will work properly, and then of course you would protect this branch and someone would need to approve it, but whoever approves it, once they merge, this will be applied. So let's go to the runs here, see if it's being applied. Okay, plan queued. So on the pull request, there is only the plan. You only run the plan, so you don't do the apply. But when you merge, then it will run the plan and probably ask you if you want to apply it. Of course, when this is done. So what happens here if we come to uh, main branch? See, it's actually telling you what's going on. This little yellow sign means it's sorry. There it is. It's running plan on 02. If you click on details, it will actually lead you directly to Terraform Cloud. There it is, one to create. Basically, it's this plan. Okay, it's planned, and now it's asking you, do you want to apply this? So you merge the pull request, we run the plan, so here you still have a chance to abort and go back. Like maybe this pull request, someone made the mistake, it shouldn't have been merged. But it looks fine to me, and you can say confirm and apply, and it's applied in your infrastructure. So this shows you like complete CI/CD and GitOps operation. So in less than an hour, like this used to take like maybe weeks, sometimes months to set up. In an hour, you have a layout and you are ready. Like your organization is ready. Your Terraform code is automatically using CI/CD with Terraform Cloud, and resources are being deployed using GitOps. So all the best practices checked, and we haven't coded anything. We haven't opened the IDE, and no command line. Basically, we did everything through the browser, which I found pretty cool. Okay, so I hope this helps, and if you like it, I'll make more videos of it.